Good morning, everyone. Jim Fitzpatrick with CBT News. Thanks so much for joining us for CBT Now. You know, we've seen dealerships use automation tools to help their advisors, but some of these tools could actually be hurting the experience for customers. On today's show, we're joined by Don Andres, who is the author of Why Auto Service Departments Fail to Grow. He's also owner of Auto SCT Consulting and Training. He brings over 40 years of fixed ops experience in the industry. So we really appreciate all the time you've given us here at CBT News, Don. And obviously, I'm looking forward to today's discussion with you. So, you know, we're going to be talking about a topic right now where dealers are going, wait a minute, I thought that it was all about automation. It was all about AI. But you say maybe not so fast. So what are some of the signs that automation might be detracting from the customer experience rather than enhancing it?
Well, that's a great question because we need automation. We like automation, especially when it comes to the communication side of these incredibly busy clients, right?
Yeah.
Trying to work these types of repairs and everything into their busy lives is challenging. So some of these products are phenomenal at being able to reach out and communicate with them. But at the end of the day, nothing has ever changed as far as getting yeses for needed services beyond an oil change, tire rotation, without connecting with the customer and having some type of engagement.
Right.
Probably the best example of that is that as we've transitioned with the multi-point inspection to being able to do it electronically, and now with video, phenomenal tool. And so we're sending that information right to the customer. They're pulling up on their smartphone, reviewing the video. It's great because it's the tech themselves connecting. Yeah. But if that service advisor hasn't established a relationship prior to that, at the beginning, during the write-up process and things of that nature, and is not following up with that video, the customer doesn't always understand what the technician is talking about. And the end result is it becomes easier to say no on the phone with
That's
a
right.
simple little click, and now we've got our no, and now we're kind of done.
Yep.
So engagement is a very important part of automation.
Yeah, there's no question about it. What are your recommendations for service departments to ensure automation supports, not replaces, the service advisor or the customer relationship?
Well, I can go all the way back to the beginning with the appointment process, right? We have AI now that is actively involved in engaging our customers during the appointment process. And it's impressive, by the way. The fact that they're holding a real conversation and handling sometimes even some small objections is impressive. But when that happens, when we've got the appointment and now it's the day before, I always want the advisor to review those concerns that they might be bringing in for, that maintenance, whatever it might be, make sure it makes sense. Mm-hmm. I'm going to review to make sure there's no open recalls that might surprise me the morning of when I'm writing them up. And so I want to have all that information looked at the day before. And then I like to reach out to the customer myself. I want to say, hi, this is Don. I'm the one that's going to be taking care of you tomorrow for your visit. And I just wanted to make sure that time worked for you. And that's an important start to that conversation, because invariably with automation, customers are going to say, I want to bring that vehicle in tomorrow, Jim. And they say, yep, my next available time is 10:30. And they go, oh, okay, I'll take it. Well, they have to be at work at 9. So what time are they really showing up in your service drive? About 8:30.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're perfectly fine with that. They're a little early. They don't think twice about it. But now, where's my real 8:30? And instead, I'm engaged with my 10 o'clock appointment, and somewhere in that line is my real 8:30. And so already things start to go stress and chaotic.
That's right.
And it didn't need to be because of something as innocent as reaching out, introducing myself, letting them know if that time works. And then, of course, the real important thing is, hey, I want to let you know I'll be totally prepared for you for tomorrow for your visit. And those are comforting words. So now the customer is realizing that you're working on their behalf the day before. We see it on the variable side with sales. I'm going to pull that car up and have it ready for you. Well, it turns out service is exactly the same way. If I can inspire them to know that I'm working on their behalf.
That's right.
and they like me already and they haven't even met me, I'm on the path to more yeses.
Yeah. And it also ensures, for the most part anyway, that they're even going to show up because of that personal touch that you've had versus going, I'll bring it in later or something happened or what have you. But that I could see with that personal call and that connection there would say, wait a minute, I just committed to them that I'm going to be there. I'm going to make that happen, right?
Well, yeah. So if the time works, then they'll do it.
Yeah.
If the time works for them, if it doesn't work for them, or you're exactly right. I can't tell how many times we've called and they go, oh my gosh, thank you for that reminder.
That's right.
Thank you for that reminder.
Yes.
A lot of people say, oh my gosh, we're using automation because they don't want to talk to us. Why are you forcing them to talk to us? It's all about the value you're offering on that phone call.
That's right.
If you're saying, I'm going to be totally prepared for you, and I want to make sure that I'm going to make this experience as seamless as possible for you. And so here's what's going to happen tomorrow. Well, when you start making statements like that, their anxiety literally starts to lessen because taking it into a dealership, depending on whether or not they have a lot of automotive knowledge, there's a fair amount of anxiety. They don't want to be taken advantage of, right? And
That's right.
And they hear those stories. And so this idea of somebody connecting the day before and says, here's what's going to happen tomorrow, I'll be totally prepared for you. Suddenly these are powerful words that leads us down that path of engagement.
Having said that, and looking ahead, how do you see the role of automation evolving in fixed stops? Are there new technologies that address these engagement challenges better?
Yeah. I mean, just in the last year, I've been introduced to AI products that are really starting to understand how to have conversations with customers, right?
Okay.
Because customers almost immediately are going to have questions. And so we're feeding more and more information. I've been lucky enough to be involved in some tech development side that says, Don, how would I handle this objection? There's some products now that are reaching out to decline services. Decline services is a big part of the growth that's necessary today in service operations, because invariably people are surprised and don't have the budget or the time, even though they believe these services need to get done. And so how are we following up? Well, it turns out AI can start to help us with that tremendously. And of course, customer satisfaction after. When you call up and say, how was the visit? And they have a concern. How is that AI actually resolving that? Are they immediately saying, let me have somebody call you? Or are they actually learning how to move through that conversation, even though it's a difficult one? And believe it or not, I've been involved with some technology companies that are actually working on that.
Yeah. Wow. That's very cool. So, I mean, it just keeps evolving. It really is fascinating. There's no question. And it all, helps that service department, that fixed ops director, just run a much more efficient department and a much more profitable department for sure. So Don Andreas, author and owner and president, I should say, of Auto SEC Consulting and Training. We'll show the information here on the screen as to how to get a hold of Don if you want to increase your bottom line in fixed ops. Don might be just the guy to call. So thank you so much, Don. I really appreciate it. I know that our viewers get a lot out of your visits. So thanks.
Jim, thanks so much for the invite. Keep up the great work. I love your programming. I really do.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words. Appreciate it. All right. Have a great day.
Take care.